How you doing? I'm Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and right now I'm working on this deer hide, getting it ready for mounting. And the first video I did the eyes, the last video I did the lips. Now we're going to do the nose. And as I mentioned in the last video, when I was taking this deer hide off, it was very late at night, and I had a long drive home the next day, and I was pretty tired. So I messed up when I was taking the hide off. I got it down to the nose, and that was the last part. And I just my knife made a couple slips, and I got some bad cuts with the nose here, and that's going to be problematic for me when it comes to the mounting. So we'll see what we can pull off with this thing. It might be, it might be tough to have this nose come out right. We're going to see. But basically, in the nose, what we're going to be doing is working some of this extra flesh off. And typically you want to leave yourself enough skin right here to tuck in the nose of the mount. And yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of a challenge because I did not do a good job getting this hide off the skull. So here's a picture of the nose. This here is all cut up. You don't want that at all. And this side's cut up too. I just messed up. There's no other way to put it. I messed up. But one thing you can do, I have this fleshing horn that I made. I just took a piece of cedar and I rounded this end and whittled that end to a point. You can put the point through the nostril for working it, which you're going to see in a minute, and then you can take the rounded end and put it in the nostril this way for working off some of this red flesh that we've been working on here. So take some of this off first, ease our way into the nose here. And we're going, we want to be light cutting through here. We don't want to cut through the hide. So I'm not pushing hard, but I'm trying to get some of this red flesh off. Get this right here. Alright, let's give this a try. Let's see what we can do with this here. Basically, I'm going to try to shave this extra meat off in here. And because of how I messed up, I want to be careful to not lose any of the skin that I do have left. See if I can cut a little bit of this flesh off of it. So there's a little chunk of skin right there that I have this big cut here. Try to save some of this, but I want to thin this out a little bit so that salt gets down to where the hair is on the back side there. But I'm trying to preserve some of that because even though it's not going to be ideal, it might help me in the tucking process. Sorry that I'm blocking your view. I'm just cutting off these couple pieces of meat. Move over and just do a little work on this other nostril here. Just working off some of this flesh. That's what I'm doing here. Yeah, if I could take it back, I'm thinking back to that late night when I was dealing with this. Basically, it was 11, 12 at night, something like that, and I had to get on the road, get up at 4 in order to start driving back. So I knew I wasn't going to get much sleep, and I just rushed a little bit around this nose, and I'm paying for it now. It's just life, man. As I'm cutting, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it's getting a little more white in here. So I'm watching for that. I'm also watching for the back ends of the hair follicles. If I'm seeing any of those popping through. I know I'm kind of getting close to the depth. I don't want to go any deeper. Here I'm getting some whitish in here, so I don't want to. It's deep enough for what I'm trying to do. There's a hair follicle. So when you're doing this, just kind of watch for those changes. Get this striated stuff out here. Now normally there's a piece of cartilage between the nose. I didn't even get that. That's how bad this is. But that cartilage, you kind of cut around it and you cut that cartilage out. There's the dryer's done. There's some white flesh. So right in the nose area here, it stays pretty reddish. It doesn't get as white as some of the other areas, but I'm taking it down to right around where I see the backs of those hair follicles, not any deeper. Right here, now that we're getting a little bit away from the nostril, it's starting to get white again when we get down to the skin. That's where we want to be. We don't want to cut the skin, but we want to get to it. And there's a seam down the middle here, the nose. I'm going to take it to that, and then I'm going to just kind of work some of this extra flesh off here. Well, I didn't realize I'm barely in the screen here. I didn't realize just how bad I had messed up this nose when I took the hide off of the deer. It's almost bad enough that I want to stop and not go through with mounting this deer. But I'll keep going through this process, and after I get to the pickling phase, I'll reassess this. If I don't end up mounting it, at least it's more practice. So I'm going to move on to finish cleaning off some of this flesh off the face here, and then I'm going to do the ears in the next video.